Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make. It is the moment when you stop blaming circumstances, stop pointing fingers at others, and stop waiting for someone else to carry you toward your future. It is the moment when you realize that your choices, your actions, your discipline, and your determination shape the life you live. Many people spend their lives waiting for things to change, waiting for someone to help them, waiting for the perfect opportunity. But waiting is not a strategy. Waiting is surrender disguised as patience. The truth is, nothing changes until you take ownership, until you say, "This is my life, and I am responsible for what happens in it." Responsibility does not mean control. You cannot control everything that happens to you. Life will always throw challenges, obstacles, and unexpected storms. But responsibility means you choose how to respond. It means you stop giving away your power by blaming others. When you say, "I can't succeed because of them, because of that, because of what happened to me," you are handing over control of your future to forces outside yourself. Responsibility reclaims that control. It says, "This is my situation, and I decide what I will do with it." That shift in mindset is where transformation begins. Many people fear responsibility because it feels heavy. It means you can no longer hide behind excuses. It means you can no longer wait for someone to save you. It forces you to confront the reality that if you want something, you must be the one to fight for it. But that heaviness is also freedom. Because once you accept that your life is in your hands, you are no longer limited by what others give or withhold from you. You no longer need to wait for permission. You no longer need to hope for luck. You realize you have the power to create change with every choice you make. Think about how many people blame their past for their present. They point to the mistakes of their parents, the failures of society, the betrayals of others, and say, "This is why I cannot succeed." But responsibility says, "Yes, those things happened. Yes, I have scars, but I refuse to let them dictate the rest of my story." You cannot rewrite the past, but you can write the future. And the pen is in your hands, not in the hands of those who hurt you, not in the hands of those who doubted you, not in the hands of those who abandoned you. The moment you stop letting the past control your future, you take back your power. Responsibility also means discipline. It means showing up when it's hard. It means doing the work even when no one notices. It means taking care of your health, your mind, your goals, because no one else can do it for you. Too many people live passively, hoping that someone will come along and motivate them, or that success will arrive on its own. But success comes to those who take consistent action, those who create habits that align with their dreams. Responsibility is not about one big decision. It is about the daily decisions to stay focused, to keep moving forward, to refuse to quit. Another part of responsibility is honesty with yourself. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. If you are not where you want to be, responsibility asks you to look at your choices, your mindset, your actions. Are you procrastinating? Are you making excuses? Are you letting fear control you? This kind of self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Because once you admit the truth, you can change it. Responsibility is the bridge between awareness and transformation. It gives you the courage to say, "I may not be proud of where I am, but I am powerful enough to change where I am going." Responsibility also demands resilience. You will stumble, you will fail, you will make wrong choices. But when you take ownership, failure does not end your story. It strengthens it. Instead of saying, "I failed because life is unfair," responsibility says, "I failed because of choices I made, and I can make different choices next time." That resilience ensures that failure becomes a teacher instead of a tombstone. Every mistake, every setback becomes fuel for growth. Taking responsibility means you refuse to let failure define you, because you know you are always capable of rising again. Some people see responsibility as isolation, as if taking ownership means rejecting help. That is not true. Responsibility does not mean you cannot receive support, guidance, or encouragement from others. It means you recognize that even with support, the final decision is always yours. Others can show you the path, but they cannot walk it for you. Others can cheer for you, but they cannot fight for your dream the way you can. Others can believe in you, but if you do not believe in yourself, nothing changes. Responsibility is the recognition that you are the captain of your ship, and while the winds and waves may push against you, you decide the direction you will steer. There is also power in knowing that responsibility brings clarity. When you stop waiting for others to fix your life, you stop being distracted by what everyone else is doing. You stop comparing, stop competing, and start focusing on your own journey. You begin to ask, what do I want? What can I do today to get closer to it? What choices align with my vision? That clarity simplifies life, because it eliminates excuses and replaces them with action. Instead of wasting energy on blame, you channel it into progress. Taking responsibility also transforms relationships. When you no longer expect others to save you, you stop resenting them for not meeting your expectations. You free people from the impossible burden of carrying your life for you. Instead, you can love and appreciate them for who they are, not for what you hope they will do for you. Responsibility creates healthier connections because you approach them from a place of strength, not dependency. You give love freely instead of clinging to others in desperation. That shift not only empowers you, but also deepens your relationships, because you are no longer looking for a savior. You are simply sharing your journey. The truth is, responsibility is not a one-time decision. It is a daily choice. Every morning, you must decide again to take ownership of your actions, your mindset, your habits. There will be days when you are tempted to blame, to complain, to quit. But each time you choose responsibility, you reinforce the truth that you are in control of your destiny. Over time, that choice becomes a habit, and that habit becomes freedom. The weight of responsibility is real, but it is also liberating. Because once you accept that no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting. You stop wasting time. You start creating, building, moving, becoming. You realize that you are not powerless. You are powerful. You realize that the life you dream of is not locked behind someone else's approval, someone else's permission, or someone else's effort. It is unlocked by your decisions, your actions, your persistence. Taking responsibility for your life is not the easiest path, but it is the only path that leads to true freedom. Because when you own your choices, you own your future. When you stop waiting to be saved, you start discovering the strength you always had. And when you stop blaming the world, you start shaping it. Turning pain into power is one of the most important lessons life can teach you. Pain is something no one escapes. It comes in many forms: failure, heartbreak, loss, rejection, disappointment, betrayal, loneliness. At some point, everyone feels the sting of it, and it can be overwhelming. Many people let pain define them. They allow it to become the reason they stop trying, the justification for why they settle for less, the excuse for why they give up on themselves. But pain can also become the very fuel that carries you to greatness. It can either break you or build you, depending on how you respond to it. Pain is energy, and like all energy, it can be transformed. When you use pain as an excuse to retreat, that energy turns into bitterness, fear, and regret. But when you decide to face it, to rise above it, you can redirect that energy into strength, courage, and resilience. Every wound can either remain open or be transformed into wisdom. Every struggle can either bury you or raise you higher. The difference lies in your perspective. If you see pain only as punishment, it will suffocate you. But if you see it as preparation, it will empower you. Think about the strongest people you admire in life. They are rarely those who had everything handed to them. More often, they are people who endured storms, people who faced rejection, people who fought battles most others would have run from. Their strength was not built in comfort, it was forged in fire. The same is true for you. The pain you carry today is not meaningless. It is shaping you, molding you, sharpening you for something greater. The cracks it leaves behind are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you survived what tried to destroy you. There is a temptation to run from pain, to numb it, to hide it, to pretend it does not exist. But the only way to transform it is to face it. Pain demands to be felt, and in feeling it, you learn its lessons. Pain teaches you what truly matters. It strips away illusions and reveals your deepest values. When you lose something you thought you could never live without, pain shows you that you are stronger than your fears. When you are rejected, pain shows you that your worth does not depend on someone else's acceptance. When you fail, pain shows you that growth is born from falling and rising again. Each lesson pain teaches you becomes a tool you can carry forward, a source of power that guides your next steps. Pain also builds empathy. It is difficult to truly understand the struggles of others if you have never struggled yourself. Pain softens you in ways comfort never could. It makes you more compassionate, more understanding, more human. That empathy itself becomes a form of power because it allows you to connect with others, to inspire them, to lead them. Some of the most powerful leaders and voices in history were those who spoke from the depth of their pain. They did not hide their scars. They turned them into bridges that connected them to others. There is also a discipline that pain teaches. Comfort can make you lazy, but pain forces you to adapt, to push harder, to persevere when everything in you wants to stop. That discipline becomes invaluable when you endure sleepless nights, heartbreak, or rejection, and still find the strength to rise the next day. You are training yourself to be unstoppable. Pain creates a foundation of resilience that no obstacle can shake. Once you learn to stand tall in pain, you stop fearing challenges because you know you have already survived worse. One of the most powerful transformations of pain is turning it into purpose. Many people who have endured deep struggles use that experience to help others. They channel their suffering into art, into writing, into innovation, into causes that change lives. They refuse to let their suffering be wasted. Instead, they use it to create meaning, to inspire, to heal others. When you turn your pain into purpose, it no longer feels like it was for nothing. It becomes part of your story, a chapter that gives weight and depth to your journey. Pain also destroys illusions of control. It reminds you that life will not always go according to your plans, but in that reminder lies freedom, because once you accept that you cannot control everything, you stop being paralyzed by the unexpected. You learn to bend without breaking, to adapt instead of resist. Flexibility is power, and pain teaches it better than anything else. You begin to understand that strength is not rigid, it is resilient. The strongest trees are not those that never face storms, but those that learn to sway with the wind and still stand tall after it passes. There will always be two voices when pain arrives. One whispers that it is the end, that you are broken beyond repair, that you will never recover. The other whispers that this is not the end, that this is the beginning of something new, that you are being prepared for a greater version of yourself. Which voice you listen to determines your future. If you believe the first, pain imprisons you. If you believe the second, pain liberates you. The choice is always yours. It is important to understand that pain does not disappear overnight. Healing is a process, and transforming pain into power takes time. But every day you choose to rise. Every day you choose to keep moving. You take a little more power back. The process itself becomes proof of your strength. Even on the days when progress feels invisible, your persistence is building something unshakable inside you. Eventually, what once hurt you becomes the very thing that strengthens you. Pain is also a mirror. It forces you to confront yourself, to see where you have been hiding, where you have been weak, where you have been afraid. In facing that mirror, you find parts of yourself you never knew existed, reserves of courage, creativity, and resilience that only pain could uncover. Many people discover their true calling, their true identity, and their true purpose not in seasons of ease, but in seasons of struggle. Pain reveals the hidden warrior within you. Turning pain into power requires a mindset shift. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" begin asking, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? How can I use this to grow?" These questions redirect your focus from victimhood to victory. They remind you that while you cannot always choose what happens to you, you can always choose what you do with it. Pain is not the final word, your response is. Imagine every time you felt broken, every time you thought you could not go on, every night you cried, every failure you endured. Now imagine taking all that and stacking it together, not as a weight dragging you down, but as bricks building the foundation beneath your feet. That is the essence of turning pain into power. You stop carrying it as a burden and instead use it as building material for your future. The truth is, pain never leaves you completely. The scars remain. But scars are not weaknesses. They are proof of survival. They are reminders that you endured, that you rose, that you overcame. Instead of hiding them, wear them with pride. Let them be symbols of your resilience, testimonies of your strength, inspirations for others who are still in their battles. Pain will come. There is no escaping it. But what you do with it is entirely up to you. You can let it harden you, or you can let it empower you. You can let it silence you, or you can let it give you a voice. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you into someone you never imagined you could be. Turning pain into power does not mean denying your suffering. It means refusing to let your suffering be wasted. It means using every tear, every scar, every disappointment as fuel to rise higher. It means realizing that what was meant to destroy you has actually forged the strongest version of you. Becoming your own hero is not about arrogance, it is about responsibility. It is the realization that no one else is going to walk into your life and suddenly fix everything. No one is going to hand you the keys to your dreams. No one is going to rescue you from the weight of your struggles. The hero you are waiting for is not coming because that hero is already within you. The strength you hope to find in someone else, the wisdom you wish for, the courage you admire in others, all of it is inside you, waiting for you to awaken it. The day you stop expecting someone to show up and save you is the day you begin to step into your own power. Being your own hero begins with self-belief. If you do not believe in yourself, it does not matter how many others cheer for you, you will crumble the moment their voices go silent. Heroes are not born from applause, they are born from conviction. Believing in yourself means trusting your instincts, trusting your potential, and trusting that even when you fall, you can get back up. Self-belief does not mean you never feel fear or doubt. It means you face fear and doubt head on and keep moving anyway. Every hero feels the weight of uncertainty, but what separates them is the refusal to quit. Part of becoming your own hero is redefining failure. Failure is not the enemy, it is the teacher. The greatest heroes of history did not avoid failure, they were shaped by it. Each failure is a battle scar that proves you tried, that you pushed, that you cared enough to take a chance. To be your own hero is to look at failure and say, this will not end me, this will refine me. Every time you rise from failure, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to let rejection define your worth, you grow braver. Heroes are not people who never fall, they are people who refuse to stay down. Another part of being your own hero is taking responsibility for your life. Heroes do not blame others for where they are. They do not point fingers at circumstances, luck, or people who disappointed them. Instead, they accept ownership. They say, I am where I am because of my choices, and if I want something different, I will make different choices. Responsibility is empowering because it puts the control back in your hands. When you blame others, you give away your power. When you take responsibility, you reclaim it. Being your own hero also requires courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act in spite of it. There will be days when fear whispers that you are not good enough, that the mountain is too high, that the risk is too great. Courage is the voice that whispers back, I will try anyway. At every act of courage, no matter how small, builds momentum. Speaking up when you feel silenced, taking the first step toward a dream, walking away from what no longer serves you. All of these are heroic acts. Over time, those small acts of courage accumulate into a life defined by bravery rather than fear. To be your own hero, you must also master discipline. Heroes are not made in moments of excitement. They are forged in the quiet, unseen hours of consistent effort. It is easy to feel inspired for a moment, but the real test is whether you keep moving when the excitement fades. Discipline is choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It is showing up day after day, even when no one is watching, even when the results are not immediate. Heroes know that consistency creates transformation, and they refuse to quit just because progress is slow. Self-love is another essential part of being your own hero. Too many people think heroes are only about strength and sacrifice, but true heroism also involves care for the self. You cannot rescue your own life if you are constantly destroying yourself with negative thoughts, toxic relationships, or unhealthy habits. Loving yourself means setting boundaries, respecting your worth, and treating yourself with the same kindness you would show someone you admire. When you truly love yourself, you no longer wait for others to validate you. You become your own source of validation. Being your own hero also means embracing growth. Heroes are not static, they evolve. They seek knowledge, they adapt, they expand. Growth requires humility because it means admitting you do not have all the answers. But it also requires boldness because it means chasing after the answers, even when they challenge your comfort zone. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every risk you take, expands your power. Growth transforms you from someone waiting to be saved into someone creating their own destiny. Resilience is at the heart of heroism. Life will knock you down repeatedly. There will be times when everything feels unfair, when you are tempted to give up, when the weight of it all feels unbearable. But resilience is the quiet voice inside that says, try again. It is the ability to adapt, to keep standing, to rebuild even when everything has crumbled. Heroes are resilient not because life is easy, but because they refuse to let hardship define their future. Resilience is proof that while life may break you temporarily, it cannot break you permanently unless you let it. Another aspect of being your own hero is learning to walk alone. There will be seasons where no one understands your vision, where no one believes in your dream, where no one supports your fight. Heroes do not quit just because they are walking alone. In fact, walking alone often becomes the crucible where strength is born. Loneliness is painful, but it also teaches you independence. It shows you that your strength is not dependent on constant company. Walking alone proves that your journey is yours, and while others may join later, you are strong enough to begin it yourself. A hero is also defined by integrity. To be your own hero, you must live by your values, even when it is inconvenient, even when it costs you. Integrity builds self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of strength. When you know you are living authentically, you no longer need external approval. You can stand tall in who you are, because your choices align with your truth. Heroes are not perfect, but they are honest. They do not compromise their core just to please others. Perhaps the most profound part of being your own hero is realizing that the journey is ongoing. There is no final moment where you arrive and say, I am done, I have saved myself completely. Life will continue to test you, to challenge you, to demand more of you. Each season will require new acts of heroism, but that is the beauty of it. You continue to evolve. You become stronger, wiser, braver with each step. The process of saving yourself never ends, but each time you rise, you prove again that you are capable of facing whatever comes. Becoming your own hero is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. It is about starting where you are, with what you have, and taking one step at a time. It is about realizing that the power you have been searching for has always been within you. It is about recognizing that while others may inspire you, the ultimate responsibility to fight, to rise, to thrive belongs to you. When you embrace this, you stop living passively. You stop waiting for circumstances to change, for luck to arrive, for someone else to open doors. Instead, you create your own opportunities, you carve your own path, you write your own story. You stop living as a victim and start living as the author of your destiny. That shift is the essence of heroism. The world does not need another person waiting to be rescued. The world needs more people who rise up, who claim their strength, who take responsibility, who transform their struggles into fuel, who refuse to quit. The world needs people who stop waiting for a hero and instead decide to become one. And when you step into that role, not only do you save yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same.